Okay, did they do it now?
No, like 2 minutes.
Okay, and they can go ahead. Boss, I greet you. How's it going now?
Are you ready? How are you? Spin again. What's your name? Spin again. Khadija. Please come up. Spin again. Right? Samuel. Samuel who? Good morning. Now, when they say to do market update, it's not like come and do something extraordinary. It's very basic now. You follow football. This morning, you know, the update from yesterday's final. It's just basic now. When they say give us news update, what happened last night? What can you remember? Even if you don't know something so spectacular, just say something you think is relative, something you can easily remember. Just share something you know. It's not like everyone's paying is empty. Share. I'm sure of that. That means everybody has something to offer. That means you have something to say about, not like you can't say anything. Please, when they call you for next time, this is taken very seriously. So when you call them and say you don't know anything, very out of place. Please. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Market update for today. Today the MSCI index dropped by 0.6% as that on Friday evening, and the stock 500 index was flat by 5 p.m. and then gold drop, and also the China Shanghai index drops by 0.7%, and the Dow Jones were unchanged at that Friday evening, and that's it.
It's not bad. Huh? So have you done this before? Have you done market audit? Okay.
Most of that are just
Yes. Is it the only one I will do? Okay.
Good morning, guys. I'll give you market updates on some of the deals that I know of that happened past week. Delta Airlines, their stock dropped by 15% as a result of increasing fuel price, global fuel price. Tesco and Carrefour are joining together to join forces in creating more options for their customers. Boeing recently acquired the Brazilian competitor Embraer for a valuation of $5 billion, and they are joining together to help Boeing penetrate the Brazilian market. And those are the three major deals.
So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
For avoidance of doubt, if this were an interview, that's not going to be enough, because after you say, after you've given your updates, you're supposed to elaborate on it and talk to whatever update you've given. So if not, it's not bad. I learned you guys just started yesterday. So that's we're giving you a degree of freedom. But going forward, any updates you're going to give, and this should be across the class, have more details, have the body of the updates, be very comfortable with it, be able to speak about it at any point in time. So before we start the class, I'm going to say a couple of things. So I'm an alumnus. I've been where you are seated today. I've been there, I've done that. So I know. I'm telling you this thing for a fact. I know. In this class, there are different caliber of people. Some people are just here to faff. Some people are here to learn. Some people are here to say, maybe, let me check, is this investment banking thing they are talking about, is it for me? And some people are here that truly want it and probably have the dream of going to BAMU or Goldman Sachs. People are here today, and you need to know something for a fact, yeah? Like was said to me when I was young, 20 children will not run together for 20 years. If I give you my honest feedback, I'm not impressed with the class. I get it, you guys have tried a lot, you put in a lot of effort, it's not easy coming here weekends, and then doing all your school stuff. You're probably in final year or third year or year 2 or year 1. You have projects, assignments, tests, and examinations. I understand. But you need to get one thing straight. The refinery is building you for outside of these 4 walls of the university. So what are you in school for? The major reason why most people are in school is to learn, get a degree, so that when they get out there, they can get good jobs. The refinery is giving you a cheat code. It's giving you a cheat sequence. It's helping you. It's giving you some details, information you're not going to get from the 4 walls of the university. I studied at the University of Lagos, and I can tell you that the most impactful part of my stay in school was when I did Talentmine. And you people need to understand something for a fact, that if you are here and you want to go to BAMU, you need to want it. It's not a case of saying I'm just here and I'm going to try. It's not a matter of try. It's going to be a matter of we will die there. It's going to be a matter of I'm going to get it at all costs. It's going to be a matter of I am going to get it at all costs. So I get it again that you people are busy. You are very busy. You have a lot of things that you are doing. But I'm begging you for your sake. Because some people do not understand the levity. Some people do not understand the weight. If you give me a choice to go to class or come to Talentmine when I was in school, I'd have come to Talentmine. I'll say this for free. In my final year, I was president of my department. And then by the time I got to second semester, a couple of my colleagues were getting, they had gone to get jobs. But because I was president, I was carrying NESA on my head, NESA. People were applying for jobs I did not apply. People were getting jobs I did not get. It dawned on me in second semester that, bro, what next after school? So all your hype and profile, you're going to finish school and then are you going to go home and sit down? So that was when it occurred to me that I should put in my best for Talentmine. I'm telling you this because in my class, I can't remember how many were in my class, we were like 20, maybe 20. I know it was not up to this class, but we know like the way it is here. Some people are just here, they won't follow. So I know when we're doing financial modeling, from the get-go, some people were not interested. So it's like speaking to market updates. These things are things that you should go back and learn and then come here and spit. You should spit fire. So market update is not for mouth. By the time I was doing my interviews, that in 2015, when I did Talentmine, the trending update was the Greek defaults on their loans. So I had learned that thing back and front end to back end. And by the time I was doing my interviews, woe betides you, an interviewer, you ask me for market update, I'll kill you. We're not saying this for you to come and punish you or come and do. It's for your own benefit, because at some point you learn it and it becomes a part of you. So we did interviews last week. Those interviews were for your benefit. They were not to witch hunt anybody. They were not to call anybody out. They were not to shoot anybody down. But it was to gauge the level of understanding. It was to gauge where you are and understand where you are supposed to get to. Honest feedback. So I interviewed some people. I'll tell you for a fact, I'm not going to mince words. Nobody was spectacular amongst people that I interviewed. I'm not saying people did not do well. Everybody tried, people did well. Some people were very, very good. Some people were actually outstanding to an extent. But there was nobody that blew my mind away. You need, see, as YJ come to this class, you've seen YJ. YJ did refinery. Do you understand? I don't know if you understand. YJ sat down in a class like this and he did refinery. YJ did not sit down. But when YJ was doing, it was before my set. When he was doing refinery, he could teach his class comfortably. It's not a case of I'm sitting down here and I'm learning. You need to understand. So for the interviews, we noticed that some people, you had some flaws, some people had some good parts, all well and good. But I implore you for your own benefit, for your own interest, that this is a spectacular opportunity you have. In my class, we were 20. Only 2 of us made it to BAMU, my set. I got investment banking and Sheon got GTS. Sheon is working in the UK today. I'm telling you this thing for free. The money is earning. If you like, come and work in Nigeria for donkey years. You just be working, you be monkey, they work, baboon, they chop. Pardon my French. But you need to understand that this thing you have, this opportunity you have is life-changing. It's life-changing. Get it, grab it, get it now. You're not going to have it again. You are not going to have it again. You need to sit up, you need to buckle up, because don't expect to be spoon-fed. So when I was doing my interviews, I had done Talentmine. Talentmine had taught me. But I can say this, I'm on record, I can say this here, I can tell anybody that the part or the things that Talentmine taught me that helped me for my interview, they were like maybe 30 or 40%. The majority of what I did was to consolidate on what I had learned in class and go out there, build on it, and learn. Because classroom is 6 weeks. You're going to come here for on Saturday and Sunday for 6 weeks, and they will tell you, they will give you back to back, plenty information. How much are you going to assimilate if truth will be told? You need to go away from this class and go and develop on what you are taught. You need to go and learn some more, because it's not going to be enough, I tell you. So we deal accounting, we deal finance, we deal financial. Those things are things that people learn for 4 years, and then you want to come and learn it in 6 weeks. Talentmine is giving you an opportunity. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. I know you are busy. I'll say this thing again. So in my final year, I was doing plenty of things. I thought I was going to die. My friend and I think I told somebody in this class that we used to tell each other that, because he also did Talentmine with me. And you need to know the people you are rolling with. Roll with the people in the right circles. If you are rolling with like-minded people, So when I was doing my interviews, I was not feeling fine. But my friend Jaga, God bless him, I just wish I could call him to speak to you. We were in the same hostel, we were in Jaja. It was that morning, the morning of my Talentmine interview, not my Bamul interview. I spoke to him that, Jaga, how are you going to help me? And he gave me market updates that I used. Understand this thing, because I had a friend that we were really in the right circles, in the same circles. We had similar goals. He's a trader now, he's a mad trader. We had similar goals. He was able to help me when I was in a space of deficit. So he gave me the update about, that was my initial information about the Greek default on their loans to EU. And that was, so YJ interviewed me for my own Talentmine interview. He interviewed me, and then at some point, so I know I spoke about this thing to some people. You need to connect with your interviewer. So I connected with him, luckily or unluckily. I think he studied economics too at some point. I'm like, I also studied economics. So we now moved away from our interview to economic lingo and started discussing Keynesian and monetary and plenty whatnot. But my point is that market update my friend told me that morning, I was able to use it and elaborate, and he helped me. Market update is not a joke. You need to understand it's not a joke. So I'm going to move on now. Accounting. We were not able to finish last week, but irrespective, we did, not last week, the last time we came here, we did a couple of things, and we should be able to build on that. We are going to do some more of that today. But for the umpteenth time, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Tochi is working in the UK today. You are not going to understand. You will not understand this thing. Do 3 months internship and watch your life change forever. You are going to be different. So in my class, in my third year. So I told you I applied to Talentmine, and I told you I didn't get it right. I told you that story when I said one rubbish for Femi. So I did not understand, like a lot of you, I did not understand the levity. So I did Talentmine, I did not get it. I'm like, I'm studying my books, I'll still pass, I'll get first class, I don't need Talentmine. And then there in my class, in my third year, my coursemate, Sheyi, God bless Sheyi. Sheyi finished the 2-1 from Economics Department, University of Lagos. She got the internship at BAMU to do, she did Talentmine. So the Talentmine, I did not get into that. I felt my shoulders were too raised that, okay, I'm a superstar. I therefore did not need to get into Talentmine. Some people understood the importance. She studied and she got into Talentmine when we were in year 3. And then she went for the internship, and she came back. We're in the same class, which is my friend. She came back, and she was thinking differently. Like, she was on another plane. And for me, I like to observe, I like to learn. So when I saw, like when she came back, I saw her courage, her composure, her poise, the way she was comporting herself, the way she was thinking was different. I'm from Delta State, they say, well, you know, they carry last. I took one step closer like this, that she yafa now, how's the way, what's the way, what's the need for your boy? So she spoke to me. Apparently, if you check in my class, maybe if you check hierarchy, I was one of the star boys in my class because I was trending. But when I realized that Sheyi already knew the path, I followed that path, and Sheyi was able to put me through. And then the next time I was going to apply for Talentmine, I applied, I got in, and I got the internship, and it changed my life forever. This is an opportunity you do not want to miss. That's my advice for you. You can do this. It's not so difficult. You can get it done. People do it every year. People will always get the internship every year. Let me give you some statistics you are not understanding. The Bamul internship for Africans, they probably give 20 Africans. 20 Africans. You do not understand this thing I'm telling you. You give 20 Africans, 20 people from all the countries in Africa, 20 students the opportunity. You are not going to remain the same. You are going to be set on a pedestal. 20. Imagine you are one of the 20. I don't know. I'm not saying it's always 20, but it's going to be around that range. 20. And then you go there and you speak and you tell them that you are not representing your department. You're not representing University of Lagos. You're not representing Nigeria. You're representing Africa. You're not going to you're not going to remain the same. This opportunity is for you to seize it. It's for you to seize it. I repeat it. It's for you to seize it. Don't say I did not tell you. I sincerely pray and hope that the people that are interested will get it. And then even if you don't get it, it's not a big deal. Life moves on. You do some other things. And I don't want to come and preach here because truth be told, not everybody is going to go to Bamul or Goldman Sachs. My point is not that you need to go to Goldman Sachs or BAMU to be great. No. I'm saying if you go to Goldman Sachs or BAMU, you have an edge. But even if you do not go to Goldman Sachs or BAMU for the internship, some people did Talentmine did not go to Goldman Sachs or BAMU, and they are well. You know, Wahab has come to this class. You've seen Wahab. Wahab, Starboy, is well placed. A couple of people, they are great people. So it's not so much about the output sometimes, but the process. When you go through the process and you put in all your best, you are not going to remain the same. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions, please? I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Forget that I was fitting it. I'm your guy. But how far was shaku now? You still not taught me the moves though. But you don't want to shaku again. I'm your friend. Any update? Any response? If you have anything you want to share, now is the time to talk about it. Yes, please. Yes, what's your name, please? If you want to speak, just tell us your name. Matthew, pleasure meeting you, sir.
The thing is that I was thinking, in terms of this market focus,
Yes.
when you are reading it, there are a lot of information.
Okay. Okay.
And technical terms also in terms of the market. And let me just say myself, I can just understand all the technical terms. So is there a way that we can be assisted? For example, someone was asking what's the meaning of delivery points, as simple as that. So is there a way that we can be assisted in putting us through this market also, so that we can know the information we can focus on and some basic techniques that we can.
So what did you study, boss?
Business and
Bizarre, okay. So the thing you need to understand for market update and the technicalities involved is that Rome was not built in a day. So there's nobody that is going to wake up today and maybe read one update and understand. You're going to be lost, you're going to be blank. Again, this speaks to working in the right circles. If you are working with people of like minds, the part you do not know, they are going to know. So you need to surround yourself with a circle of people that are hungry like you and thirsty like you for the same kind of information. But apart from that, a good thing, so when I was, during my time, my friend Jaga, again, I'm telling you about my friend Jaga, I learned this one from him. So I was in school, and I was from year 1 to year 3, I was the study and play actually. But my focus was not work yet. I felt like it was a necessary condition and sufficient condition thing. I'm speaking like an economist now. I felt like study first, then worry about jobs later. But Jaga helped me understand that you need your job now. So one thing he advised me to do was subscribe to Investopedia. There's one thing they do where they send you term of the day. It's superb. It's superb. I still receive it till today. And then now that I know, so that time, whenever they send me like a new, let me tell you the truth, because I was very busy. I didn't always look at that thing. That's why I I subscribed, and they're sending me time of the day every day. Meanwhile, my supervisor is pursuing me to come and submit my project. I don't know how to look at that thing. But it's a very good thing for you. It's good. Like, it's going to help you go a long way. And then, if there's anything you don't understand, the best thing for you to do is Google. So there's no term that Google will not explain for you. Just Google it. It's very easy. But subscribe to Investopedia, term of the day, and Google any other thing you do not know, and you are going to be good to go. Is that clear? Any other question? Please ask now. I'm your friend. Tega is your friend. Every year, some people that go to BAMU are my guys. It's a thing of joy and pride to me that I touch some people's lives, and they always go to BAMU, and I feel happy for them. So talk to me. I'm your friend. I can help you in any way. People that have my number in this class, you know that whenever they talk to me, like whenever they ask me for questions, I always answer. So like I try to answer whenever I have space. But don't laugh now. It's not easy. This was not a classroom something. So no questions. We're moving on. See, but you know, you people know that Talentmine is observing here. These people that are they are not just sitting down for sitting down sake. They are observing you. So when you are in class, know what you are doing. When they say mark, so you shouldn't wait for that. What is it? That wheel of what? What's it called? That wheel it does. Wheel of life. We did it. We did it in my time too. Shouldn't wait for wheel of life to pick up your names. When it's time for market updates, volunteer that I want to do market updates. It's a thing of you improve over time when you keep doing it. And some people in this class, they are in all C's, which I heard has changed to T's. T's. If you've turned it to one plus something, T's. See the other as T's. So I learned, like I know you guys do market updates now. Yeah, so it's good, and you'd agree with me that you get better over time. It's not something of one day. So the earlier you start, the better for you. The things you learn, I said this thing before, but let me emphasize. The things you learn in class, they are not going to be enough. Please, for your own good. Before I go, I'm going to tell you one question. So I applied for Goldman Sachs and I applied for BAMU. I did not get Goldman Sachs and I got BAMU. And the reason I did not get Goldman Sachs was one question. I remember the question and I asked one or two people during my interview. So anybody that I felt like maybe you can have small, like maybe your level is elevated, I can ask you the question to see to gauge where you are. Because that interview we did for you was still on a control level, not got in there. I'm serious. When you go, so I know the people I interviewed, I was smiling, and some people say I asked too many questions during the interview, but I was smiling with you, I was playing with you, I tried to make you feel at home, but there are some interviewers you go to and then they are cold. Like you are talking and they are giving you the straight face. If you even know stuff in your head, they'll fly away. Because you are thinking like, do I even know what I'm saying? So remind me before I go, I'll tell you one question I was asked that shot me away. We'll speak about it. So 3 financial statements. We are going to do quick recap. Who is going to help us? Income statement. I expected everybody to do like this. So I've just been talking. I'm talking for myself. It's okay. Income statement. Let's start there. Who is going to help us? It's not difficult now. You should not come and draw me today, please. Today is Sunday. I'm going to watch World Cup. Please. Let's do this. I'll start calling names. So please, wait for us. You don't want to answer. And you know they are watching. So the people that show the vim and the vigor and the drive and the interest, you are better off. Olumide, stand up wherever you are. Close up your hand and close your eyes. You are a boss now, I remember you. Income statement.
Financial performance of the country over a period of time, usually 1 year. So by 4 months, you start with the revenue or then we have items such as cost of goods sold, so from the revenue, get growth from it. Then after that,
boss, just stop right there. I'm clapping for you. Please nominate somebody to continue. And you are already stellar. I don't want you to finish all the goodies. Don't will nominate somebody. So we carry on. Where did you stop? Where did you stop, please? I think you spoke about COGS now. Gross profit. Carry on, sir.
Okay, like you said.
Don't go back. Just continue from there. We don't have time. Just continue, please.
Okay, from the gross profits, we have to we make provision for from the gross profits, we make provision for operating expense.
Okay.
And we arrive at earnings before interest and
tax.
And afterwards we we make provision for interest and tax to arrive at our net profits. That's on the income statement. And for, should I proceed to the other?
Oh no. Let's will. Will of life, I'll be told you. Oh sorry, pause. Let's ask before we go there. Income statement is prepared on what basis? Cash flow or accrual basis? People are flowing now. Don't forget in your interviews. So who did you? Balance sheet, just freestyle. Okay, nominate somebody that will just run us through very fast. No, you've done well, but nominate someone that will tell us the order. And maybe once you mention 1 or 2 elements on the balance sheet. Yes, exactly. I interviewed you now, you're a boss, so show yourself. So all the people I interviewed, they were bosses, all of them. They were bosses. If you see them, respect them. Feel like fun. You guys are the chairman. What's your name, sir? Samuel, pleasure. Don't go back. Leave our own. Say your own. People is
the asset is the formula they usually use. Asset plus liability plus the equity, and equity is the like the
just
put back,
okay.
investors put back into the company as the dividend they put back as or they put back into the company to do other sectors of the company like the and the liabilities are the money they are debt, the that's debts, and the assets and the money they get from the sales of their goods, and the money they get from other investment they gotten, and the cash they get.
That's okay. Nominate. Boss, please. Yes. Right, I see your chairman. I just wanted to help us to write all these statements, but the way they in order. Come, please. Nominate. Marker, please. Oh, I see. It's there. It's there. Yes, all of them. Do all of them. Anywhere you're stuck, we'll do it. Please, will for us. Will for us. This one is going to be the juicy one. Cash flow statement. Please make space so that all of them are together. Like I want all of them on this page so that when I talk, I'll be able to. Do you understand? Can do.
If you don't think of that,
Balance sheet, then leave space for cash flow at the bottom. Again? This is the second one. No, this one has spoken now. Don't deny your birthright. Thank you very much, bro. Nominate. Nominate somebody. That babe you like in this class, let us know. Don't nominate a guy. Oh. Oliver Twist. How many people do you like? You have explicit taste. Leave his own. Just give us the operating. Okay, thank you. Any questions so far? So, okay, basic ones. Okay. Any question? So one question typically that is asked in interviews is relationship between these financial statements, and you should be familiar with them. You should have them at the back of your head because you almost always will not be able to escape these questions. I was asked, and you'll probably be asked too. So the three statements, I was hoping that Samuel will be able to. Like, I was trying to wait for him to run through so that we can speak with them on the board. So in the interim, we can be gisting. Any other gist you have for me? Any question? Any observation? Any addition? Market update. You would not know market update. If they ask you to win Ballon d'Or now, all of you say Modric, Messi, Ronaldo, Pogba. Eh? I will not say Pogba, sorry. Griezmann, okay. Messi will not win. Hazard. But what happened now? Football did not come home again. All of you that were believing football is coming home. Football is coming home. Football went home. I did not go home. No. They carry themselves to Heathrow Airport. They carry themselves without football. So I'll just be talking. No, let's do this one. This one will probably build up to that one. Okay, let me just say it all the same. So one question I was asked is, if you have to, and I asked some people this question. So most of the questions I asked were basic level questions, and then for some people I escalated the. Again, let me say this thing. Most of the people I interviewed were okay, but you will probably not pass a Goldman Sachs or a Bamboo interview with the level you are at the moment. I'm not saying this to make you shake, but to let you know that you can improve on yourself. So even me, I did not know it when I was doing my own interview for Goldman. I'd learned it for Bamboo. So they said if you have two companies, one with a P ratio of 10, one with a P ratio of 20, and you're an investor, which one would you prefer? Which one would you advise me to invest in? Please, I can hear a lot of murmuring, so people should share. Let's hear you. I heard you murmur, so let's hear you.
Well, you could speak anyone, just anyone you can. So that company has a higher P ratio doesn't necessarily mean that it is more expensive. You also look at other factors like probably its like its history, how big of a name it is, how well established it is, how much profit you see to make going forward, how stable you think it's going to remain, and just generally the prospects of investing in a company like that.
Thank you, thank you. So you people were murmuring. Let's hear you. Let's hear you. Yes, please.
Well, I think PE ratio basically shows how much you have to pay for a dollar return. And there's a high possibility that a company with low PE ratio is undervalued.
Okay.
So you are a value investor, you want to invest in a company that has a low PE ratio.
Okay. What's your name, sir? What do you study, sir? Are you doing ICANN? Did you do ICANN?
No.
ACCA? CFA? FRM? Who taught you that you do just now?
I really know.
Aha! That's the kind of people we are looking for. Which school which school are you attending, sir? Ife, the great Ife. I like people from Ife. They don't sleep on the bicycle. So PE ratio, you both said, you both spoken well. Like he said, it will show you the amount you need to pay for $1 or £1 of earnings of the company. So PE ratio is usually price per share divided by earnings per share. So that's where the PE. So I was hoping that we'll do this one first, because earnings per share would come from profit after tax. So your profit after tax divided by the number of shares outstanding will give you your earnings per share. This you can then use to calculate your PE ratio. So if you do not understand the earnings per share, you're not going to be able to understand the PE ratio. Are we following so far? So we all know this profit after tax, yeah? That's the bottom line of the income statement. For a public company, let's use a public company, the number of shares outstanding, all of the investors, all of the equity holders of the company, they have a portion of this net income. Are we together? So the earnings per share, intuitive earnings per share. So depending on the number of shares you own in the company, on a pro rata basis, they'll calculate your own part of the profit. Is that clear? People are no longer... Yeah. Okay, so that's for EPS, simple. Share price is even simpler. Everybody knows share price. Please wait for somebody to tell us a correct share price on the Nigerian NSC today. As at Friday. If we are not here to sleep, we are not here to joke. We are not here to be joking on a bicycle. Elijah. God must send down fire. Yeah, Elijah.
Oh, no.
Sorry? Are you trying to check it? I'm not understanding. Is that the fire? You cannot bomb you. You want to help? Okay.
Okay, I think on the NSC,
Yeah.
the top winner for Friday, which was Sovereign Insurance, was currently trading at 25%.
Why do you not give market updates? So you know all of this one, you were forming humble. I've told you it's not a humility something in this class. We'll be proud. So he said
The top winner as of Friday, Sovereign Insurance, was trading at 23%.
23 kobo per share. Simple. That's the price per share. So if you want to buy one share of which company is that?
Sovereign Insurance.
Sovereign Insurance, you pay 23 kobo per share. So EPS, I wanted to write, but it's no space. EPS, earnings per share, price per share. That share price, 23 kobo per share, you keep it at the denominator. Then the earnings per share, you put it as the denominator. So you now calculate. So let me just do this, please. PE multiple is equal to price per share. My writing is tiny and terrible, I know. Let me use that one, please. Divided by EPS. So now, if you want to answer that question on a proper level, for investors, typically there are two types of investors. There are value investors and there are growth investors. I'll repeat, there are value investors and there are growth investors. So this PE would help you determine which of the two you fall under. So, what's your name again, please? Taiwo. Oh, you're the one that sat in front that day that was helping me. I remember the professor on my side. So, he has spoken well. He spoke about the value part of it. So, a value investor typically looks at the market and tries to watch out for undervalued stocks. And because he believes that the market is not aware of the proper or true value of the stock, it is therefore trading at a lower price. Are we together? Bro, can you just pause, please? Let me just explain this one. So you know this, sorry. So you have, this is PE. So you have company A, PE is equal to 10, company B, PE is equal to 20. So for company A, PE is equal to 10, it means that you need to pay $10 to get $1 of returns on that share. For company B, P is 20, means that you need to pay $20 to get $1 of returns on that share. Is that simple so far? So a value investor will look at these two and say, company A, I'll pay 10 to get $1. Company B, I'll pay 20 to get $1. If you now imagine that for the two of them, their EPS is the same thing. Like they have similar EPS, but one of them has a lower PE ratio. The value investor would believe that because for this company, the price, the market price is lower than what it should be, is going to invest in company A. That's not clear yet. So for these two, maybe to get this 10, you know it's price per share divided by earnings per share. Let's say the price per share is 10 over 1. The price per share is 20 over 1. Is this clear? So this, the value investor would say that for company A, because it needs to pay just 10, that means the price per share, the share price of that company is 10, but he has done his analysis and he thinks that the PE relative to the market or relative to the competitors should be higher than 10. Therefore, he thinks that company A is a better fit for his investment profile than company B. Because imagine that the two of them are in the same sector, in the same industry, they are competitors, and then he's trying to determine which of them to invest in amongst A and B. One of them has a P ratio of 10, one of them has a P ratio of 20. He now understands that for company A, the price on the market is $10. For company B, the price on the market is $20. Because he's a value investor, he thinks that company A is undervalued because intricately, price of a share is an indicator of the value. I don't know if they've mentioned it. You are not saying yes with confidence. So that price is an indicator of the value. Because this one now has a lower value than others in the industry, like the average, he thinks that, okay, this company is undervalued. He will therefore decide that he wants to invest in company A. Is that clear? That's for a value investor. For a growth investor, the reverse is the case. A growth investor would think that there's a reason, like people are not mad. There's a reason why people are buying company B for $20 in the market when there's an option to buy company A that they are doing similar things. Are we together? So a growth investor would believe that people are already purchasing company B because they believe that company B has the capacity or has potential for massive growth in the future. Therefore, people are willing to pay extra money now to buy company B shares. Are we together? So there are two ways to look at it, and either of them is fine. But when you're answering, you don't just mumble and jumble. Two of them, they tie in together, and whichever way you are going to go, be ready to defend. And so for avoidance of doubt, be ready to tell the two of them and spit fire. Thank you. Is that clear? Ask your questions now, if you have any. Two companies, maybe one of them has a P ratio of whose share price is 10. So because it thinks that people, so there's one efficient market, and then they think that, okay, based on companies B's historicals, the historical share price, the historical financial information, we think that company B is projected to grow at a faster or greater rate than company A. So because of that future growth, you now think that it's better. So that's the reason why people are already paying more for company B today. And because you are a growth investor, you are looking to buy stocks that are going to grow, you therefore prefer to buy stocks of company B that have a higher PE ratio, and that's the rationale for it. For the value investor, you think that company A is undervalued. You therefore buy company A, whose share price is at 10, is lower than what it should be, you buy it today because you believe that it's undervalued, and at some point the market would recognize its actual value and the price would therefore increase. Then you can sell, and that's how it makes sense. Is it clear? Any other question? Yes, please.
I want to ask, when you look at some companies' financial statements,
Yes, please.
you find basic outstanding shares and also find the diluted shares.
Okay.
I guess sometimes I think that you should pay more attention to the diluted shares than the basic shares.
Okay, so when you are trying, so this is peculiar when you want to calculate your EPS, or basic EPS, or your diluted EPS. So there are some part of the balance sheets that are dilutive, that can be dilutive or anti-dilutive. So if you want to calculate your EPS, ab initio is net income divided by number of shares outstanding. Are we together? Now we are saying that for diluted EPS, we want to know, because on the balance sheet there are some part of your capital can be converted into maybe equity. Maybe you have debt that can be convertible debt that can be converted to equity. Are we together? Or you say you have a warrant, or you have an option. So all of these are there are elements of the balance sheet that could be dilutive or anti-dilutive. So the essence of the word dilutive is that your EPS, if you've calculated your EPS to be 10, there are some things on the balance sheet that you can add or subtract, or you can tweak the EPS calculation that would give you another EPS that would be less, that would be lower, that would be dilutive. That's the word, dilutive. So the essence of that calculation of diluted EPS is that you're now saying, let's do some scenario analysis. In the worst case scenario, that maybe the options we have or the warrants we have, they are called, and then we therefore need to convert, say, our debt, convertible debt to equity. There's a need to now calculate that in the case of, because this thing happens, you need to calculate that in the case of, say, something happens, and then the people that hold this convertible debt decide that they want to convert it to equity. What's the effect going to be on your EPS? What's the effect going to be to investors? So that's the rationale behind calculating of the dilutive EPS. And now when you are calculating so diluted EPS could be for, I think, for pref shares, for stocks, for warrants, for convertible debts, and I think one other, I can't really remember. But the point is, when you are trying to calculate it, your EPS, your diluted EPS can never be greater than the basic EPS. So you need to watch out for it. So if you know, we're not discussing it yet because, like the other class, there were a lot of questions that we discussed and went out of scope. So we are going to limit it to what we need to know. So for the purpose, when you are calculating it, there are some times where for all those dilutions, if you calculate, they can give you a higher EPS. In that case, they are called anti-dilutive. So if you ever calculate and then you get an EPS figure that is greater than your basic EPS, there is an anti-dilutive, that element is anti-dilutive, and you therefore disregard it and refer to your diluted EPS as still your basic EPS, because there's no way your EPS would go, there's no way you are going to allow your EPS to improve or increase greater than the basic EPS. Do you follow? The essence is to find out that in the worst case scenario, how can the EPS, what's the level is going to fall to? Any questions? Please.
Okay, you said that a value investor will invest at the rapidly, hoping to sell off when the share price increases. So what is in it for a growth investor? Don't you think that they don't make as much money as a value investor? Or is it just that they have more security, investing in the company?
So for trading, there's no one size fits all. There are different kind of traders with different kind of ideas and different methodologies. So if two of you are trading, it's a value investor, you are a growth investor, your metrics you are using are different. What you are going to get will be different from what is going to get. So what's in it for, thank you very much, boss. What's in it for a growth investor? That's your question here.
Yeah, like I want to maybe
No. Understand this. So there are some. Okay, let me just explain. Again, for a growth investor, you are willing. See, this thing is simple. It's easy. Get it now. For a value investor, you think the stock is undervalued. You therefore buy at the lower price, hoping that it's going to go up when the market realizes its true value. Then you can exit your position and make gains. Is that clear? Yes. For a growth investor, you believe that this stock is going to grow in the future. You believe that the potential for growth is greater than any other stock. You are therefore willing to pay a higher price for that stock today. If it grows, inevitably, if a company grows, revenue would grow, all of this would grow, net income would grow. When net income grows, your EPS would grow. You are an investor, your EPS, your earnings per share is also going to increase. So that can be something that would give you incentive. So I'm not saying for a fact, I'm not saying rigidly that all growth investors only want to get the extra growth from EPS. But when the company grows, any company that grows, your value, the share price will also increase. So inevitably, they will still be getting higher earnings per share and be getting higher, like the share price will increase. They can also sell at a higher price at the future date. So it's just the only thing is that there are different ways of getting a profit on the market. Is that clear? Any question? Yes, please. Okay, you first. You raise this hand first.
Sorry, can we say a value investor will report that kind of stuff for a longer period of time?
So it's not. There's no rigid answer to that. So people have different investment horizons, different investment periods. But I would even think that if any investor, if amongst the two, I would think that a growth investor will probably have a longer investment period. I'm saying again that it's not rigid. I'm not saying that all growth investors hold their portfolios for a longer time than value investors. But I'm saying that if I were to choose like which of these two would hold portfolios for a longer time, I would probably say growth investors, because growth does not happen immediately. You can need to wait for 2 or 3 years for it to eventually grow. I think at one time, which company was it Apple? I was not paying dividends. I had hefty cash. The company kept growing and growing and growing, and then as it was growing, the value would be increasing. So I should think that if any of them would have a longer term to maturity, or a longer tenor investment horizon, it should be growth. But again, I'm saying that it is not rigid. It is not rigid. A value investor can think that, so you know, if something is undervalued, it can take a long while before it becomes properly valued. So I'll say this, that there's no one size fits all answer to that. It depends on the peculiarities of the, yes please.
Comparison between A and B.
Yes.
I
don't understand your question, please.
Give us P for 10.
Yes. Yes.
As a value investor,
yes.
If I'm going to decide on choosing 10,
yes.
I'm going to be looking at the industry, right?
Oh no, so you are going to be looking at two things. You'll be looking at the company's financials. So if it is undervalued, it means that you've gone through the financials and you've seen that, okay, let me do this. Let me do this here. PE, right, is price per share divided by earnings per share. Price per share divided by earnings per share. Are we together? That's the P ratio. Let me just write it out. Price per share divided by earnings per share. This thing can break it down to say it is PE, meaning that it is the price, market price, which is equivalent to the value. Are we together? We already agreed that the price shows the value of the stock divided by outstanding shares outstanding, number of shares outstanding, all over the earnings, your net income. If there's pref dividends, you can less it, but let's not go there. Net income divided by shares outstanding, number of shares outstanding. Are we together? So if you are a value investor, that was your question now. What was that question again? Repeat it, please. Yeah. Okay, so it works for the firm and then across the industry. So if you can see from this, for the firm itself, you need to calculate the value. So it's possible that you've done a valuation, maybe you've used DCF or you've used multiples approach, and then you've seen that, okay, the value of this firm should actually be higher. So in itself, you can get to that point with an analysis of the company in itself without even looking at the competitors. That's if you use a DCF. Many times when you use trading comparables or transaction comparables, you still need to look at your peers. That's when you use maybe an EV/EBITDA. Have you done valuation? Yes, so okay, sorry. What did you learn about valuation? Like how do you value? Sorry, okay, I'm asking, okay, IB people, how do you value? Sorry? Okay, so intrinsic, how do you do that? Okay, and for relative, how do you do that? So some of the multiples you can use for relative are, which I just said. So I see the IB people on fire, but it doesn't mean you cannot know it if you are doing S&T. Let me give you one scope. To be S&T people did not come to class yesterday. Talentmine will not tell you if you are going to come, will not tell you to sit down at home. That is for IB people alone. If you want to learn, come and learn. No knowledge is wasted. Do you understand? So now I'm asking, and some people can follow, some other people cannot follow. So it's probably because you are in a different stream. But I tell you for a fact, I can tell you for free. If I were an S&T guy that time, I'll probably come and attend because I need to know. So I never did trading, but I learned some trading. Can tell you about uptake. I don't want to even go there, please. So for your question, is it clear now? You can either look at it individually or the two of them work together. Any other person? Somebody raise his hand or hand. Okay, for the offsite guy, somebody asked, how do we get earnings per share? I'm repeating it again because you are offsite. Maybe you did not get it. Can they see? So earnings per share. Think about it intuitively. Earnings per share. Let's talk about earnings. The income statement is supposed to show your earnings or your profits or your revenue and expenses. So you start with the top line being revenue or sales, and you drill down to the bottom line of the income statement, which is the net income or profit after tax or net earnings, whatever it's called. But for the purpose of earnings per share, EPS, it refers to this bottom line, irrespective of what the term is. So intuitively, earnings per share, meaning you are saying earnings divided by share. So we've discussed the earnings part, which is the bottom line of the income statement. Then the per share is talking about these earnings, the earnings you have divided by the total number of shares outstanding, so that you can understand, or an investor can know what portion of the total earnings of the net earnings actually is attributable to him or his holdings in the shares. Yes, please. So it just is financial lingo for saying the number of people that have invested in the shares. I don't want to confuse you. We can now start talking about share capital and then issued shares and shares out. But these shares outstanding, if you check what's it called? If you check online, maybe S&P, or you check Capital IQ or Bloomberg. Are you following, please? Yes. If you check Bloomberg, you see that they would show you the number of shares outstanding. So number of shares outstanding when you want to open a company, like when you want to create a company. Typically in Nigeria, the ultimate guy is SEC. The ultimate regulator is SEC. So before you open the company, you need to register with CAC, with SEC, register a lot of things. You need to register, and then they would approve a total number of shares for you. So that one that they approved is the shares you can issue. So that's what's the name? Sorry? Authorized, beautiful. Authorized, that's the authorized shares. That's the authorized shares. Now, issued shares is of the total authorized shares. How much have you issued? So, for a company, if you have authorized shares of, say, 1 million, you do not need to issue all of them at the same time. You can do them in tranches. So, if you say you've issued 700,000 of it, that 700,000 is your issued shares, and sometimes it can be called your shares outstanding, although there's a slight difference. And I know somebody asked me now for the difference. So I think I'm not really clear about that difference, but I know they can be used interchangeably, but there's a slight difference. If I remember it, I'll tell you. Any other question? But is that clear for you? So it's just the number of shares that have been issued. Somebody raised his hand again. Or hand. Yeah, it was you, yes. What was your question? Okay, so somebody is saying, can you explain how credit and debit applies in the financial statements? Okay, let me see it. The way I know it. For investment banking, you do not really need credit and debit. Majority of what you need are all of this. So accountants need to understand debit and credit so that they can create these statements. Are we together? Investment bankers do not need to know all the granular debits and credits because you are not one ICANN certified somebody that would maybe go and sit down and be understanding debits and credits. Irrespective, debits and credits have been used to create each of these line items. All of them came about because of a debit or a credit, or sorry, a debit and a credit, because there would always be a double entry. So they all came about as a result of a debit and a credit, but not here for maybe individual ledger or journal accounts. Are we together? So if you break all of these down for accounting, to break them down, you see that before you get your revenue, maybe there are some other journal entries or some other ledger entries that you would have done debit and credit to get each of the revenue line items and cost line items. So debit and credit you would use to get to all of this. But going forward for investment banking, you would not really need to start thinking that what am I going to debit? It's not your work. It's an accountant's job. But then again, the last time we came, we did one mix, deal clip. So deal clip is perfect for you to understand the thing you need to know. Deal clip, which is, so you people should chorus it, please. My singing was not for, yes, please. Wait, let's start together. D is for E, A, L, L is for what? L is for what? My God, is that what I told you? L is for losses. I'm just kidding. So the clip side, C, the first C is for what? The other C is for? The other C is for? So the deal clip is DEAL, then double CLIP. So the first C is for? The second C is for? The third is for? The I is for? And the P is for? So for anything you need to know, deal clip, debit expenses, assets, and losses when they are increasing, and credit, capital, liabilities, income, and profits when they are increasing. If it's a case where they are decreasing, the reverse is the case. So all of that, like if you check that for the person that asked the question, is all you need to know for how you can use debit and credit. You don't need it for investment banking, but you need it for yourself to understand, because you cannot just do investment banking. You don't understand how they got this. Any other question? Are we okay? I'm surprised. No more questions. We're moving. So one popular question that was asked that would get asked is, how are these statements? How are they related? During my Bible interviews, I got asked the question. After my Bible interview, and I did interviews at United Capital for investment banking division. Again, they asked how are they related? The first thing for you to know is when you're an investment. Okay, well, let me start from before we go into this. If I tell you to choose, so all three statements. Yes, Samuel, thank you very much for this. Really appreciated. All three statements are equally important. They are very important for an investment banker to function. Are we clear about that? Yes. But if I told you that, okay, you have an opportunity to choose only one and make decisions based on that, which one would you choose? Who told you that? God bless lovely. God bless lovely. Why would you choose cash flow? God bless lovely. He's a great guy. Lovely is my guy. And he's the guy of some people in this class. Some people that did PDP last week. God will save them. God will save their souls. So, if you know, you know. Don't bother about what I'm saying. It's to one person in particular. So I was saying that cash flow is very important because for an investor, cash is king. If you are a debt investor, okay, somebody said we should talk about equity and debt too, because apparently I should talk about that requiredly. I think it was Beatrice that told me that some people struggle with that question. Equity versus debt. So if you are an investor, so if you are a debt investor, we are not beating around the bush. If you like, you should have profits, your net income of 10 billion. And then you have balance sheet. Your balance sheet is 100 billion. You now have cash flows of 10 million. If I borrow you money, how are you going to pay me the money? So now, even before you check net cash flows, operating cash flows are even more important. How do you plan to pay me this money from your operations? Therefore, this cash flow statement, if I see it alone, I'm not saying it's sufficient, but if I'm in a fix and I just need to look at one thing and then run from there, if I check your cash flows and I see that you are bleeding cash, I'm not borrowing you money. You cannot scope me. I'm not going to give you. I can say I'm dashing you the money because I like you and you're a fine babe and I want to invest in your ministry, but I'm not borrowing you money. Similarly, for an equity investor, at the end of the day, you get paid dividends, right? If the company is not making enough, if the company does not have enough cash, they cannot pay you dividends. Are we clear? If there's no cash, dividends, although to be clear, dividends can either be via cash or they can pay you dividends with more of equity. Is that clear? So a company can say instead of paying cash for our dividends, we issue more equity for you. So if you had, say, 10 million shares outstanding before, they'll give you an extra million. You now have 11 million in form of your dividend. Is that clear? But for like generally for cash dividends, if you don't have cash, you cannot pay dividends. So this alone is if you look at it individually, is important. So if you have these three, and you are asked that from which two, like if you have, so you say you have, there are the three major ones, and then I'm asking you that which of them can you do without? Not which of them can you do without. Can you use two? Which of them can you create from the other two? That one is simple. I've given you the explanation. You don't want to say it like that, but I said it. Which of these three can you create? Can you create most of, not all, most of the line items from the other two? People you are not answering me. So this way you be mumbling your interviews. And you now say, Stega, I thought you don't come and cover me. I'm not the one. No. So can I charge, please? Please, can you move for us, boss? It's not. It's charging now. Thank you, boss. David. You slew Goliath, so slay this question, please. Who's David now? There's no David here. Offside. I lock you. Oh, you can answer? No, but that would take too much time. Can now say did not get the message. I will wait network. Just. If you are here and you claim offside, if I catch you. Let's win again. Offside. We'll catch you now. So you've answered before now? No. Ah, okay. Okay, why?
Because operating.
So what was the question?
Said which one can we get from
the other two? Okay.
Because on cash flow statement you have changes from operating activities.
Yes.
Information about operating activities can be deducted from the income statement. And information about financing and investing activities, part of it can be deducted from the balance sheet.
Bros, you're smart. Thank you very much. Is that clear, you people? People of God. Is anybody confused? What's your question? See this part. This is cash flow statement. Okay, let's hang that thing. We'll just I'll explain it, but let's hang it. Let's keep it first. So now for the three of them, they are related. If you start with the income statement, typically you start with your top line, revenue or sales, and then you do the necessary subtraction and additions, and you get to the bottom line, net profit. So, people of God, how can this net profit jump to any other account? Any other statement, rather? We are doing this together because you know it. It's because I have not said it that your head do not think about it. But in your church mind, you know it. But there's evil in your heart. That's why you could not think about it to answer that question. Please try. God bless you.
On the balance sheet, we retain
okay. Beautiful. Any other person wants to try? Yes, please.
It also goes with cash flow.
How does it go there?
It flows into the operating aspect of the cash flow statement.
Just draw your ear and learn it today. This bottom line here, the profit after tax or whatever it is called, or net income, the first thing that you will do is that you transfer it to the cash flow as the starting line item. Sometimes instead of this, they can use profit before tax and they can use operating expenses. But the point is that your profits, like your profits from the income statement, first thing you will do is to transfer it to the cash flow. So your cash flow cannot come about if you've not calculated, if you've not done the income statement and gotten the necessary items from there. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. So that's one relationship is key. That's the first thing. That's the first step. After you've calculated your income statement, your profit after tax, it will be the starting item of your cash flow. Therefore, this is a prerequisite to you creating your cash flow. Now, your profit after tax, two things can happen to it. Can either declare everything as dividends, share the money. Share it. Let all of us collect our money and be happy. Or you can retain it and use it to build or grow your business. If it's the case where you retain it, it's going to come to the balance sheet under equity as retained earnings. God bless you, Samuel. You are good, you are good. So you finish with first class, have you? It doesn't matter. We know you're humble. You work out of humility. You dodge the first class part and then you answered you are still in school. It's okay, continue. God is watching you. But you're like really good. Thank you very much. So that's another relationship. So I've shown you now one between income statement and cash flow, and then between income statement and balance sheet. Is that clear? Is that clear, everybody?
Yes.
Ask, yes, please.
Okay, so the key is now.
Yes.
If I have a payout ratio, balance is 40% for instance.
Yes, please.
And I pay out 40%.
Yes, please.
That 40% goes to the finance aspect of my as dividend.
Okay.
That finance aspect of my cash flow statement.
Yes.
the retained part goes to the balance sheet.
Yes.
An entire PAT figure goes to like the top line item of my cash statement.
So that's correct. For clarity, I just asked that if you have a profit after tax here and payout ratio is 40%, payout ratio, otherwise known as dividend payout ratio, otherwise known as the portion of the total profit after tax that will be paid as dividends. Is that clear? So if we have profit after tax of 100 million and then we are paying 40% of that as dividends, it means that 40 million of that is going to go to the balance sheet, sorry, to the cash flow statement. 40 million will go to the cash flow statement under your financing cash flow. It's there. It's not just granular, but you go to your cash flow statement and you pay it out. It will be there because it's cash you've paid out. It's going to be reflected on the cash flow statement as an outflow. Is that clear? Then the other part is going to come to the balance sheet to increase your retained earnings. So remember that balance sheet will show you your financial position at a point in time. Are we clear? Is this clear? So as at 2016, you already had retained earnings of say 250 million. Now this year we had profit after tax of 100 million. We paid out 40 million of it. We are left with 60. So it's not that you now take that 60 to the balance sheet and put it there as your retained earnings. You add that 60 to the existing retained earnings. So before it was 250, you now add 60, then your new retained earnings figure would now be $310 million. Is that clear? Any questions? Any questions? Yes, please.
So balance sheet shows the financial perspective of the company at a particular time.
At a point in time.
Why are you considering the impact period?
Yes, please. Any other question? Can we move on? Are we sure? So if you come and check now, look at this balance sheet. If you break down this cash flow statement, say operating profit or profit before tax or profit after tax, depending on which one you start with. So who has a charger, please? Like USB charger. To be the greatest, one of the greatest, my greatest guys in this class. Or just giving me plenty information in the interview. Àkókò tó dín láì dìbò ẹ̀ ti wọlé.